In part 1, Vivian showed us how to build a plant enclosure. And in part 2, she showed us 2 monsters in her collection. And now, part 3. All right, let's talk about this lanky, large one that you have. This is great.
Thanks.
Your variegated elbow, super nice.
Yeah, I am sad that they all decided to face that way out, because it was like, oh, I'm looking at it, it's cute, and then at some point it's like, oh, the light is that way, let me just turn, and so I don't see these, like, right here, let me see if we can pull them up.
Right, yeah, you can't really, no, don't do it for camera. You don't want to hurt plants for footage.
I'm like super rough in my plants, I don't really. Yeah, I got it maybe 8-10 months ago, and then it had 6 leaves, so, and it has all its original leaves too, so 1, 2, 3, 6. I think these are the 6 original.
Okay.
So it was here.
Right.
So I bought it when it was here, and it's at 13 leaves now.
Wow.
Sure.
Yeah, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
So you have it sort of attached to a pole now, a moss pole.
Yeah, it's kind of dry. I am bad at watering it, and I think that's why they don't seem to really attach. So I use it more as a way for it to at least get some stability as it goes up, but they're not really attaching right now.
Right.
Yeah, I'm hoping one day they will, but, and I should water it. Yeah, this is a self-watering moss pole.
Oh. Do you do anything with the aerial roots? You just kind of ignore them? What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, they're a little bit ugly, but I kind of don't really mind.
Yeah, I don't mind mine either.
And you collect a lot of Monsteras.
I do have enough Monsteras to keep me happy. Let's just say that. Yours looks so good. I like the shape of it. It looks super nice.
Thanks.
Yeah, usually I think that if you give it really good light, the nodes kind of get closer and closer
that
together.
Explains it for the top here as opposed to right down here.
But this is great.
Thanks.
And I love that you've kept it as fun and lanky as it is right now.
Yeah, and I've never taken any props from this plant. It's one of the plants that I just want to see like hit the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a joy to seeing plants hit the ceiling. The particles seem bigger. You have more bark here.
I put more bark in this one, because it is in a bigger container, and I'm always afraid that the water sits too long in bigger containers, so it's more chunky.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would say you don't have as many plants as some people, but the plants you have are super nice.
Thank you. This is kind of like my cheap plant shelf, if you will. Yeah, so I got my pothos, my regular Monstera, some succulences. I got into succulences first before tropical plants, so those were some of the original. And then, I have my crystallinum here now. I actually have no idea where to put it, so I just shove it.
This is a hanger.
It's a garment shelf, I believe.
Right, it's just like a common hanger.
Exactly,
shelf,
yeah, that I just kind of deck it out into another plant shelf.
Right. I think like for people who are on a budget, you can easily find stuff like this on Marketplace or Craigslist.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And you can just hack it, right? Like on the super cheap.
Yeah, it's like really affordable, and it doesn't take too much work to actually get lights on. You just kind of get some like tape, put it up, and then it's a plant shelf,
They're stickies?
I just stick them on, and they're on the timer, so I don't have to worry about turning that on and off either.
Yeah, I mean, this is super cheap, super budgeted.
Exactly. And it still looks good,
Yeah.
Like, you don't need expensive stuff to have a nice time.
Yeah, I think that if you can't afford the IKEA stuff or the IKEA stuff is sold out, which I feel is a problem, like you can just easily do something very affordable. Yeah, it still looks good. And look at what you did. You basically you have some plants on the bottom that's growing up, and then you have vines that are vining, and you have like stuff to hang, and you're vining the variegated string of hearts as well. Ooh. Yeah, like it looks great, and it gives a very good vibe.
Thank Thank you.
on the budget.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, gosh, it's like hard for me to stop looking at
this one,
the green dragon. Oh, I love this one so much.
I wish that there's more sellers that sell large size plants, because at some point I stopped buying small plants because I feel that it's just a lot of work and they take years to grow. And if you buy them big, you can, honestly, you can start propagating, get some of your money back, to cover the cost, and then just keep a really nice plant.
That's funny because like you're one of the few people that think that buying big plants are worth the cost.
Oh, 100%. Like, if I sell this right now, I don't really know what the market price is, but it's probably maybe 200-ish, a bit more since it has a few more leaves, right?
It's probably a bit more.
Yeah, and then if I look on the marketplace, something like, I don't know, maybe it's 1,000, right? But if that's like 4 times-ish more of that. But if I were to kind of cut it down, this is so much more and so much bigger than what that is. But I know it's not something that a lot of people have the privilege of doing, and that's why a lot of people buy notes and small projects, which is perfectly valid as well.
Right. I mean, I think nursery growers and people who have been in the hobby for a long time know the value of large plants, right? Like when we just talk about mother plants, these are large plants, and the capacity of this thing to grow faster and better is way more than a smaller one, right?
Exactly.
This one, your big one with like all these leaves.
You don't have to wait for it to even put out its first leaf. It's just going.
Right, like all these leaves, think about all that energy. Think about the established like root system. Yeah. This plant has like way more going to it, than the smaller plants.
Yeah.
Okay, and your pink princess.
Yeah, I got that one last year from Logis.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, and it was about 1/3 the size, and I've cut it quite a few times since. It's kind of reverted a few times, but it's actually putting out 2 active growth points, if you can see the top, and then the one right below it.
Oh yeah, so there's one. Let me see if I can get it. Yeah, it's funny. I think I've every single person I've talked to
has pink princess.
Has a pink princess. Everyone.
Yeah.
Every single person. Okay, let me see your last couple plants.
Yeah, for sure.
It looks so happy.
Yeah.
Ooh, and I'm like, it's hard to describe how good this feels.
It's just very velvety. Yeah.
Yeah, it's it just feels good.
Yeah, and I like when they're a little bit new. So this one is a little bit soft. You can see it's softer than this one's a little bit more rough.
Let me touch them all.
Yeah.
And it's a very, I'd say, like if you look at it, the leaves are thicker than you would anticipate.
It is, yeah.
I feel, yeah. It's a very robust plant, and
and I think that's why I don't have any issues with growing it. It's been pretty, self-sustaining.
What a statement.
Yeah.
What a statement plant. I mean, come on.
It's so cute.
I mean, your alocasias are. Whew. Do you have problems with them like going dormant?
I've never had an alocasia gone dormant before, and I think it's because I keep my place pretty warm in general. So even in the summer, the winter, it probably goes down to 65, which is still kind of cold. But I do put heating mats on some of these. Well, actually only these right here, and then I find that they are still happy, even though if it's like cold here. I guess it's cold if it's cold in California. It's not that cold,
Right.
Yeah, so I haven't had that happen to me before, and I don't know what I would do if that happens, because I've only seemed to have happy plants, and if they become sad, I'm just here like, oh, I don't know what to do.
Right. I don't even understand. I'm not gonna talk to you about this anymore. I am not a good alocasia parent. What is this one? Is this the red moon or whatever?
This is the red moon, yeah.
Yeah. This one's a very hot
plant. It is,
these days.
yeah, and you can see it's a little bit reverting, I guess. So the back is a lot more red. Yeah, and it was a lot brighter. But I guess that's the nature of the red moon. The variegation is stable, but over time they do start fading from that bright red to more green.
So when you're buying a red moon, just because I don't know that much about this plant, like what am I looking for? Like, am I looking for like this thing, or am I looking at the leaf?
I think honestly, Yeah, you want to look at some of the stems, kind of like any other variegated plants, but like I mentioned, they are stable, so you can think of it like if you were to buy a Thai constellation, you know? It's
Oh.
something that will always have some variegation, but some can be lighter than others. So you find like a pretty highly variegated plant, then they generally will be fine.
Yeah, because like these leaves don't have the
Yeah,
red.
and this one actually did, but you can see how it's almost done. Going
Yeah,
like the
and like you
green.
can see, this is really fun. The fact that this has like one red streak here, and there's like red the variegation of the stem is very
Yeah.
striking.
It is, yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. So like when you get a new bud and there's like a new stem and it's not variegated, are you like, ah, darn it?
I am kind of like darn it, but not in the sense that like with my other plants, I'm like, oh no, it's just like reverted. This one I was like, oh well, I just have to wait a few leaves and then it'll come back.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's what I like best about the red moon. But I think this is my most expensive plant. I bought it last year, and yeah, I just like have not bought anything like that since.
I feel like nowadays, like the most expensive plant is just the most recent plant that you bought, just like with the prices and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think with the whole corona, the whole pandemic happening, it just shut everything up like crazy. Even plants that, like I personally find like the Alocasias red, they grow really fast for me, but you know they're still so expensive, and for something they grow so fast, you know, you think that it would meet the demand, but it still has not.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that some of these the fast growing plants are just the expenses, the prices are just ridiculous.
Exactly.
And people, you know, I think people just gotta wait a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at with the Thai constellation. You know, it used to be cheaper than the elbow, and now it's like really expensive. So I'm just like, I'll just wait a couple of years and then buy that when it goes down.
I can see why these like giant alocasias, you know, they're hard to find. These are still hard to find. The prices, you know, like I think if it's hard to grow and hard to find, I think sometimes the prices are justified. But a lot of philodendrons are not as hard to grow.
They are, yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. Is there anything we have to talk about up here? Let me see. You have a giant Gloriosum. Jeez.
Yeah. This is the dark round form Gloriosum I got from NSC Tropicals. Yeah.
How many forms of Gloriosum are there?
I don't know, and some of them I feel like are not like actual. There's no real differentiator because there's some that's like Gloriosum white veins or Gloriosum something else. But yeah, this could just be a regular Gloriosum that just happens to be a bit darker and rounder than the regular ones.
I'm so jealous about how well your allocations are doing. I think explain to us what this thing is.
Yeah, so this is my rehab center or my isolation center. And so if I were to buy a new plant, for example, this is where I would isolate them. This plant is actually doing fine. I kind of just ran out of space. This is the crystallinum. It's a red crystal from Indonesia. So it's doing fine, but if I were to say bring in new plants right now, I would put them in here for 2 weeks, and then once they're good and set, they can join the other plants.
By good, do you mean like good as in pest free or good as in rehab?
Pest free and you know no what is it called, fungus, like rust.
Oh, rust spots. Okay.
Rust spots, just like if they are, you know, I see after 2 weeks they look fine. There's no way they can infect the other plants. Then I let them join.
Okay, so it's like a quarantine.
It's a quarantine box. Yeah, exactly.
And let me see, it's a reptile. Is it a reptile enclosure?
It is. Yeah, I got it off on Amazon as well, and I've done a few iterations of this where I had leca in here to try to keep some humidity up. Maybe I've tried some moss, but overall I just feel like I do not need that much humidity. Yeah. Honestly, there's not very much humidity even in here, and I find that I guess the plants have been pretty okay with it. So
yeah, I mean, I'm like looking at all your plants, right? Like the alocasias, your velvety leaf philodendrons, you know, obviously this monster of a El Choco, your albo. And like all your plants look so good, and your humidity in this room is not overly impressive. It's not
Yeah.
it's not even noticeable. It's not uncomfortable, right? Like it feels like you're a normal room.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, and
Right.
I leave the window open all the time as
Right.
well.
Right. So yeah, you're doing something right.
I hope so, and I think the downside to that is that if at some point they do get sick or something don't go well, it's like, oh, I don't know what to do now. But I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that they generally live a happy life.
Right. And watering, do you just water with tap or?
Tap water, yeah, tap water, and then like I say, some CalMag, a little bit fertilizer, and then just
Get out of town. This is ridiculous. Like your plants look, God, they look so good, and it's they give the impression that you're doing so much, but right, this is incredible.
Thank you.
This
Yeah,
is great.
I've been lucky to have like generally happy plants, but I have had unhappy plants too, and sometimes they just don't do well, and I'm like, I don't know what to do, and then they die. But it's been a while since then.
Good. I'm glad at least some plants are dying for you.
I can't have all the luck in the world.
Right. That's awesome. Okay, I think we're good.